Hey,
What's
good morning. Good morning.
I was almost late.
You were right on
People
time.
could even watch me get ready.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome back to TRS Live. We're back for, what is it? Are we on so for continuation with the resurrection?
Which I think it should be.
Which I think this is 66. This will be episode 66.
Okay.
Continuing.
Nice.
How was your weekend, bud?
My weekend was crazy. So we've got, family Christmases, right? It's that time of year.
That's part of my topics.
Is it? Family Christmas?
well,
Do we want to get into that right away?
Yeah. Actually,
Well, there's no Packer game, so I can't bitch about the Packers.
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of start it off by I think on a Monday we should catch up over the weekend, right?
Fair enough. So we had my wife's mom's family Christmas
Okay.
in Minnesota, Rochester, Minnesota.
Oh.
Her mom comes from, I think there's 7 or 8 brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all you got to say is
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, some people love that situation, right? Like they love the big family gatherings and all of that stuff,
Did
right?
you go hide in a corner?
I like to sit in a tree stand.
Yeah, right.
I like some space and some breathing room, and it was fine. They're all great people. It's not a thing. It's really more me than them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Careful now. This is on the record here.
That's okay. No, I'm totally fine with it. And I would tell this to anybody's face. My wife knows this. Everybody knows it. Like that's just a little too much hugging for me.
Yeah. And so Andy's obviously on. Andy, say good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Hey, happy Monday. Hey, you tell me, because I might go on a long tangent about my weekend.
You
so
should totally do it.
Hey,
Send
somebody's
it,
at the buzzer. So Andy, how was your weekend, buddy?
It was slow. Played a lot of Warzone. Didn't get any dubs though, unfortunately.
So what does that mean? You got to catch me up.
Dub is a win.
Well, I know what a dub is, but what's Warzone?
Hey, you coaching well? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And what? We had a good season last year, bro.
You did.
So what? Okay, go ahead. What is Warzone, and tell me why is it so important to
Your kids don't play video games at all like that?
No,
Really?
no, they might, but I don't.
You don't get into it?
I don't. Yeah.
okay.
So, anyways, Andy, there he is.
So yeah, Warzone's just a first-person shooter. It's a video game that's across all platforms. So PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. But 150-player battle royale, and you fight till you're the last one alive.
It's literally, so think about it this way, Matt. Have you seen The Hunger Games?
Yep.
It's the video game version of The Hunger Games.
Yeah, that's a good example
so
right
everybody
there.
gets dumped into this island,
Yep.
and then it's just go. Like there's
So do you
different
play this
weapons.
game as well?
I don't play Warzone. I play Fortnite.
Okay.
So I don't.
He's a child.
I am. It's so. No, honestly though, like Warzone's a lot faster. You correct me if I'm wrong here, Andy, but I feel like Warzone, the gameplay is a lot faster, and I can't. I'm old, man. I can't keep up with that. Fortnite's the same concept, but it's the original. Fortnite started most of this craze, but the gameplay is a little slower, which I like because I'm old.
So with Warzone 2, actually, which just released, everyone's calling it your dad's Call of Duty because they went kind of back to their roots, and it's a lot slower pace now.
Okay, well maybe I should try it then.
It's pretty fun.
Andy, now you got to tell people you do, what is it, Twitching and all that stuff. You're a live stream gamer, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's it. That's all you're gonna say about it. This is a kind of a promotional moment.
I don't know. It's not family friendly. But yeah, it's Savka_gaming. So SAVKA_gaming.
No, that's on Twitch.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because if we remember back, we did.
How unfamily friendly is this? You get real into it? I'm guessing.
Yeah, we're pretty loud, pretty vulgar. We're not appropriate in any way. It's usually my dad time, so usually drinking's involved and
Perfect. Yeah. Sounds fun.
It's a good time.
Andy, this is a loaded question. Unless I'm not doing something correctly, I'm not seeing this live stream on the fixed portion of it. Am I doing something wrong?
Let me double check. It should be
because we should be live Facebook, YouTube, and on fixed TV. And I clicked on the watch live portion of it all. But as you get into that, as you're checking it, tell
me about your weekend then, Matt.
Well, okay, so it goes right back to what you said. It's selfishness, right?
Yeah.
I'm withdrawals. I haven't hunted now since I hunted the last day of gun season.
Okay.
I sat, and I haven't. That's the last time I hunted. We started another bathroom project. For those who follow along with anything I've done, like we had one bathroom project take like 3 years, right? Just because you can only work on it so on, and I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Right.
My wife and I try to go through this. Luckily, I have a great father-in-law that knows a lot of this stuff. Well, we started number 2, bathroom. No pun intended. Bathroom project number 2, and it's going well. But I mean, on the weekends now, we had to go to Dells for my son's basketball. So that takes up a good portion of a Saturday. Yesterday we got into
Takes up your whole Saturday.
Yeah, and then yesterday we got back into the bathroom. We paused it. My daughter was going through she's on traveling volleyball, kind of like what we talked about.
Yep.
So when we paused, she had like a scrimmage. So we went to that, right?
Hey, sorry to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
But it is playing on fixed TV for me.
Okay. So like I said, it's probably me. But anyways, so that was it. But yeah, but I want to get, okay, so with the Christmas thing, I want to get into this. If they should take the gosh darn Hallmark channel off.
Oh my God.
Take that channel
it's on my
off.
house like nonstop, dude.
It has corrupted the minds of people.
Not people.
Like
Not all people.
Not all people.
There's only a certain percentage of the population that watch the Hallmark channel.
Like everything for the holidays has to be a Hallmark moment.
Oh yeah.
And it drives me insane.
And it's all fake. It's all crap.
Like, okay, so I'm gonna get into it.
So realistically, how many like lawyers can really move from the big city back to the small town to re-fall in love with their high school crush? Like how many times does that actually happen? Like Andy, what do you think? Like how many? Come on, seriously.
But like, so
I'm gonna leave my $350,000 a year job.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
right,
move back
to
and start
move back.
milking cows
Yeah.
with the chicken farmer back
Yeah,
here.
and
Like,
run into
come
my
on.
high school. But it breaks it down like this, right? So all my kids are 15, 17, about to be 19, right? So they're all old.
Yep.
And at this stage, and this is a hard thing for my wife to understand, but they're done like with us.
Oh yeah, they don't want anything to do with you.
They're done with
literally
us.
like my middle son Nolan's 12.
Yep.
He's almost there. Like
Yeah.
he still likes to hang out a little bit, but you could tell it's almost like I don't want mom and dad to feel bad, but I'd really rather go game with my buddies right now.
Yes.
Which is totally normal. Fine, great. Do that.
So we're a little late to the game with a lot of stuff going on. We don't have our Christmas tree up.
Okay.
And a big moment for my wife is going, the family goes and cuts the Christmas
Oh
tree
yeah, we do the same
down.
thing. Oh yeah, big deal. Pictures.
And
oh yeah.
you got to do all this.
Yeah.
Well, this year with just the chaotic winter that we decided to create for ourselves, we didn't do that, right?
Yep.
So it's either do we go cut a Christmas tree down or do we go the artificial?
I was gonna say, is that allowed? I have tried so hard
to go artificial.
to go the artificial route because it's like pre-lit.
Mm-hmm.
We pull it out whenever we want to. We, whatever. It is a no-go. That's a hard no.
We did a real tree one time, and then after that, no more for us. It's too much of a mess. It's a pain.
Well, and I'm not okay. So
But you don't get the family picture, Andy.
Yes, and I do
while
enjoy
you
that.
cut the tree. That's
That
a
is
big
true.
deal. You don't get the family picture. It's all
do
about
it-
the picture, man.
It is. I do enjoy that moment, right? So, anyways, like, okay, so what is it was this weekend? It was like the 11th, the 10th, and 11th, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay, so you should have your tree up by now.
Yeah,
Like
we
I
do.
work the EO Goat Show, like that. You gotta have your stuff
Yeah,
going,
like,
man.
it
I'm
goes
way
up-
behind the
It
eight ball.
goes up like the day after Thanksgiving.
So a Saturday morning crunch time like this, right? Like, okay, well, we're gonna go get the tree. Well, I don't know. Well, nobody's home. How can we go get the tree? I go,
Because they all have to be home.
yes.
Yes.
My oldest to my
Like
youngest.
my oldest son had to come back from college
To
so
go
we
get the
could
damn
go get
tree,
the tree.
right?
Yes.
So it's
Fact.
like, well, this one's gone here. This one's got a basketball game in a couple hours. My daughter just doesn't care anymore to go
Yep.
do it. So let's go see a reindeer that are in local town.
Okay.
Buy a Christmas tree. We'll do all this.
So your daughter doesn't want to do it anymore?
No.
How's
Like
Molly with that? Like
no, this is part of my chaos.
that-
Like
does-
everything's a Hallmark moment. Like you said, it's all got to be trudging lightly,
Right.
and make our fresh winter tracks and all this stuff. So long story short, like she's already stressed Saturday morning because nobody wants to go do this reindeer and Christmas tree
okay.
game.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So then it's like, well, do we just buy an artificial? I'm like, let's just get an artificial.
Let me ask you this though. Why? This is very, very similar situations. Why can't, like, I've tried to talk to my wife about, like, let's make it about us.
Yes.
Like, as long as you and I are on the same page and having a good time, who cares?
Yep.
Like, don't let them ruin your zen.
Growing up, as we got to that stages where my kids are at, like my mom and dad had their simple rules: either you come or you don't.
Yeah.
And,
Not gonna
but
fight
whatever
with you.
fun we have on this trip, if you're not a part of it, you feel bad on your own.
Right.
Like we're gonna ask you maybe twice.
But you're not coming along and then ruin my time.
Right? No. Yeah, or and if you do come, you ain't freaking pouting the whole time.
Exactly.
So your decision's pretty damn easy.
That saw and cut the damn tree.
Right. So we drove to this town, right? There was a line for the reindeer. The reindeer kind of was not, I don't
Is that an
know.
actual real caribou?
It was a reindeer, yeah, bro.
Like a real
There's
one?
two different, those are two different things.
They're
Just
not.
yes, they are. A
Domesticated
caribou and a reindeer are
caribou.
two.
Isn't that all it is?
No, there's two separate things.
It's a totally different species.
Yep.
If I look it up,
Reindeer,
it's
yep.
are you
Andy,
sure?
Andy, go to the
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure reindeer is just a domesticated caribou.
No, it is not, bro. There's a reindeer is a reindeer.
You're like 100%.
I'm feeling like 110% on this one. So we continue on because my
Like,
sister-in-law.
what's the difference?
I think the size. I think a reindeer is a little smaller. The antler size is
Is
a
that so
little
they can
different.
fly?
Maybe where they live is a little different.
Is that so they can fly? I mean, I've been to
bro.
North Pole,
Yeah,
Alaska.
yeah,
They have them there,
yeah,
but like
you were chasing
I was.
huskies up
I did
north.
all that, but I thought they were just like a more like domesticated.
I feel pretty solid about
Caribou.
it. So, anyways, then there was a line, so that already causes stress, right? Like, well, and the kid, it was just Molly and I at this point. I'm like, let's go stand in line. Let's get a damn picture if that's what
Yeah,
you want
right.
to do. I'm trying to be happy-go-lucky.
Yes.
So we go watch
It's in your
basketball.
best interest to have a good time.
Right. And we go to Menards, like the probably the second store I hate in my life, just because when I go there, I equals work.
Oh,
Like, when I
right.
go
Yeah,
to
there's nothing.
Menards,
You're not
like-
going there. It's not like the real shot where you're buying
No.
some fun stuff.
Right.
You're
When I
going to
go
go there and get some tile and whatever.
Yeah, dude,
Right.
like it equals work.
Yeah.
So we're at Menards, and her and I were looking for this Christmas tree, this artificial. We're going to the taboo, as Megan Keller would say. It's taboo, dude. You got to be real, or you're not at all.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
And we're looking, and she likes like tall and skinny Christmas trees.
Okay.
I like the opposite. I like the short, fat ones.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is your call.
Yep.
Well, what do you think of this one? I said, if
Uh-huh.
I'm buying it, I'm not buying
See,
it.
I like the real, like, authentic looking Christmas
Yeah.
trees. My wife's thing is she feels bad for Christmas trees. She wants the ugliest one in
The
the
Charlie
whole,
Brown style
She
tree.
yes, that's what she wants. She wants the ugliest, tallest looking, skinny.
See, and that goes back to like a
Like,
Hallmark
why?
style moment, like
Whatever.
Charlie Brown Christmas
Don't
tree,
care.
dude.
I had actually zipped, so so she let my daughter pick ours out this year.
Yep.
She ended up picking one out that had a split and laid
Yep.
them in the inside, which is cool, whatever. Well, when we cut it at the bottom, it only left like a half an inch, maybe an inch of like where they were together.
Yep.
Well, when they binded the trees up, it cracked. So then she was all upset, and the whole thing. I have my trees zip tied together
Nice.
this year.
Solid, super
Yeah.
sturdy.
Can't tell. It looks great.
What'd you find out, Andy?
It says reindeer and caribou are in the same animal, or are the same animal, and are a member of the deer family.
Nah.
Yes, it's a domesticated caribou. That's what it is.
I feel like it's.
I feel like I'm
the
right, and you should
internet's
take that off
wrong
real
on
quick
this one.
before anybody else argues with me.
So long story short, man, like I'm just over Christmas already, dude. Like everything's got to be a Hallmark moment. But anyway, we
it does
picked out
get
this.
exhausting though.
It
It's just
really is, dude. And then like,
so. Like,
what
do you
we
see?
getting this
Here's my
person?
thing. Like, do you see your family a lot?
Yeah. It's
Okay, so here's
my
like-
my
Like,
immediate
like
fam-
who
like,
you see on Christmas? You see them quite a bit, right?
Not as much.
You
no.
don't? Okay. See, like for me, like we make the trip for my wife's mom's stuff. I see them once, maybe every 2-3 years. Okay, fine. I'm all into that. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine. You know, whatever. When we go see like my immediate family and it's like a big crisis that we're at a certain place at a certain time on a certain day, I'm like, why?
Why?
I see you guys like
Yeah.
5 days a week.
Right.
Like maybe not 5 days a week, but I
Yeah,
see you a lot.
enough.
Like,
Enough.
what? Why? Why is it such a big deal?
Right. It's just the
Like I just don't get it. It's whatever. I'm sure.
a lot of people ask me
I'm
why
sure I'm
a
in the minority with this. Maybe I don't know, but
why I'm a Scrooge this time of year, and I hate the materialistic part of Christmas.
Oh God.
Like I love getting together with family. I love like eating food and having some adult beverages, but I hate the stresses and causes of what are we going to get this
Yes.
person? Why are we getting
Right.
what? How much is our spending limit this year?
God,
Why
and
are
then
we
the
doing
returns and the
that part drives me bonkers.
Get
But
everybody a
anyway,
Quick Trip
so
gift
that's
card
the
or
one.
Real
Like
Chef
I,
gift card.
That's what my dad does every year.
What does he do?
Quick $50 quick trip gift card.
And you always use it, I bet, don't you?
every
Yeah.
single
And
cent.
he has to spend zero time worrying about if you're going to use that or not.
Yep. Solid.
Yeah,
It
see,
is your Christmas type stuff, like a lot like we're discussing in here. Are you a Scrooge, or do you get into the holidays?
Oh man, it's hit or miss. Like, I don't know. It gets pretty hectic. It's very similar with Mona's family. We see them all the time, but they like demand all the time, and they kind of take priority. And then it makes things really hard because then I try to get together with my side of the family, and we're very limited on what times we have available then. And then
Preach, brother.
yeah, and my family lives in Florida, so Yet I see them once a year, and then yet they're like low on the totem pole for priority. So
And isn't it like you would think the fact that they're in Florida, like that would be a priority? Because like, hey, let's go see
no
Andy's
kidding,
family
right?
in
Yeah.
Florida, dude.
Definitely.
Like, to me, that's a no-brainer.
Right, for sure.
Like my brother lives in Illinois, which I don't hardly get to see him, but I'm like, even that's a good idea to get the heck out of Wisconsin
For sure,
for
yeah.
a couple
At least
hours.
do
A couple
something
hours,
different.
like a weekend of it.
different scenery or whatever, for sure.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait till
It does. It gets
Christmas is over
It gets
with.
exhausting.
It
Not
is
gonna lie.
so exhausting, and
Maybe it's
that's
all
the
my own-
stress it causes on other
You think
people.
it's all in our own heads? You think we just need to like mature?
Well,
We're
I
not
feel
mature
like
enough.
I feel like since I've gotten married to my wife who loves Christmas, I've tried to do a better job of
Well,
being
yeah, because
more
you don't want to ruin it
tolerable
for
around.
her. I
Yeah,
get it,
right.
because of all the other downhill issues.
But the part that just pisses me off is like how stressed she gets. In my opinion, it's over little stuff, but then in her opinion, it's a big deal.
yes, agreed. Yep.
Christmas is the time, but she remembers the kids when they were this big and they ran downstairs and they loved opening presents.
Yep.
Now that they're all this big, they don't really care.
Facts.
They're just ready to come down. What
See,
did
and
you buy me?
I think you should put as much effort into their stuff as they put into caring. Right?
I agree, man.
You don't care. Here's $5.
Right. Or how much
Exactly.
effort
I don't
does-
need to care if you don't care.
how
Like,
much
honestly.
effort do you put into my
Right.
gift, right?
Like if you're gonna grunt at me about something, like I'm out.
See, for us,
Don't
it
grunt
started
at me,
way
I'm out.
back in October. Get your Christmas list together, and I'm like, oh my god! And then you got to scratch out your Christmas list, and now this product looks cool,
Right.
that thing looks cool. It just drives me batty, dude. It's not. That's not what it's about.
Right. Well, and I think there's less, like now for kids, there's less stuff because so much of it's digital.
Yep.
That I think that it's hard as well, right? Like they want iTunes stuff or
Right.
they're downloading app games. You know what I mean? Like we used to when we played video games back in the day, we used to open up like, oh, we got 5 new games and like physically could touch them. And now
Yes.
it's like, here's an Xbox gift card. Go
Right.
download some stuff.
Or
Like,
do you remember going through like the weekend flyers and like shopping,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
circling this and this because
Yes.
you knew that was something you can get under the tree.
we make our kids do that. So we go out, we give them each an ad to like Target and make them go through it and circle it.
Yeah.
yeah, no, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But they don't have as many toys. Like, and that's why I keep telling my wife now, like our kids are 10 and 12 and 19.
They're over to
19-year-olds, whatever.
Yep.
I said,
Do any of them still believe in Santa?
I think my daughter does, yeah.
So I think you got that going for you
Oh, yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah. Which, and then the older boys both know that if you ruin this for Kennedy,
We ruined
you
you.
might die. like, they're smart enough to know.
Yeah.
But I think moms put, you know what I mean? Like, if you ruin this, I'm
Yeah, dude.
gonna off you.
That's-
Like, this is the end of the world for you.
So
You just don't know how close you are to
She's
that
got to
edge.
be like maybe next year.
Yeah, I think Nolan's over it now.
He's got
sure.
yeah, but he's like he's still a little guy. Like he's still
He's
got
not
a little-
though. He's little, but he's 12.
I know, but
He's not
like
physically big, but he's way smarter than any of the other ones.
yeah. But do you think he's still got that like little child moments at time?
No,
Like,
I think he's in middle school, and I think that they're taking health class now, and they're into the, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I think it's, there's enough kids in that. No. Not-
he knows. Now.
He's.
Do they
that's
ever
over.
do they ever like hint to
No, because
they
again,
know for sure.
well, if you quit believing, it's over,
Yeah. Oh.
right? Like, that's the deal. You quit believing, it's over.
right.
So my whole thing is like I just don't want to buy a bunch of stupid crap. I'd rather take kids on a trip or something,
Yes.
take some pictures.
I know a couple families in our
Yeah,
area.
like
That's what they do.
that's what we started doing now. It's just ridiculous. Half
Right.
this crap they don't use anyways. They play with it 3 times. Sits in the
Yes.
corner, collects dust. You end up taking it to Goodwill. Like, what's the point?
Right.
I mean, if you really need to spend money on toys, okay, go buy some for a needy family. Then do
Yep.
that.
So I got a comment here from Travis Goss. Travis, good morning. And then I see Chips on, and then what is it, RL? So Travis is like, hey man, I heard you got a bunch of sheep, dude. We are finally like
Are you getting rid of them?
we have at our location yet. I think there's like maybe less than 10.
Wow. How many did you have to start with?
Oh, my father-in-law at one point was probably north of like 30 at some time. So like that is dwindling. Like it is
Are you
said.
giddy about that?
Oh my god, dude! Like all. So like again with this bathroom remodel project, right? Like I always told Molly when I said the house is all yours. We'll do whatever the heck you're in the house. I don't really like I care, but I don't care. But then as soon as I get to start playing outside, Like, I don't need your opinions. Like, because I didn't give many opinions.
Okay.
In the
So
right
what are you
way.
talking about, like landscaping,
like
fences, that
like,
stuff?
If I want to put a food plot, I want to just outside the front yard, man, it's happening, right?
Yep.
The outside is my remodel.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at this year. Like this, I'm thinking in 2023, after waiting patiently for almost 10 years, I get to finally start doing what I want to do. And I got big plans, man. Like I got Onyx drawn
Why
up.
is this the year? Because you're done with the house stuff?
Well, no, because the way I needed the sheep to go away. I planted food plots in the past, but the
How
sheep.
come you just didn't make the sheep go away?
Do you like this is only an hour show? But my father-in-law.
What if they just ended up tipping over once in a while?
Yeah, there's a lot of days where I had a lot of people offer that to me. And like that little, very, very little warm spot that's still in my heart. Yeah. I was like, that's probably not a good idea.
No,
even there's a lot of mornings.
If you get busted, you're deep shit.
Oh yeah. Well, then there's a lot of mornings where my trail cam would ding, and I'm like, oh deer. Nope, 15 sheep walking by. But it really hit a head this year because number one, we bought the house. Number two, land got purchased around our house where these animals would sometimes wander off the property.
Okay.
So now guys are bow hunting and gun hunting.
Are they disappearing with that?
Well, no, but I'm getting messages.
Oh,
hey,
really?
Your sheep, and I've always played it. They're not mine.
Right.
So, but they wander off, and if a guy's hunting, dude, that'll wreck your hunt.
Oh, yeah, big time.
We were down in Florida MPFL, and I got a text message from the new neighbor that just bought the 40 next to us. He's like, hey, man, I'm not like being a dink, but I'm being a dink. Like I'm sitting in my stand. I got 15 sheep around me right now. And I'm in Florida.
So there's no fences? Like they can
Their fences are up, but it's long story, man, but the fences are not fences anymore at this point.
Okay.
Like,
so
and plus, if we want to talk reindeer or hoofed animals, sheep could jump fences easy. They almost have to be electric or they got to be barbed wire at the top. Right? Okay. So some of the fences are not as well.
So they get out all the time. How do you get them back? Do you have to go chase them or hurt them up?
Push them in the yard.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a miracle that
sounds like no fun at all.
Yeah, it's not. So anyways, Travis, I think we're getting there.
So how many do you have left now?
I try not to go over there and look, but I think they're all penned in now. They have to be penned in.
Okay.
And I think there's probably 8 to 10.
So if you really like Matt and you really want to make his Christmas, go buy some sheep.
My father-in-law put fences up at his house.
Yep. Are they for sale?
They could be for sale.
Oh, I just want. Why do you still have only 8? Like, what do you do with 8 sheep?
I don't know if I have the ewes at my place or if I have the lambs at my place.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't go over there. It's like that out of sight, out of mind type of thing. Because then also when I go over there, I realize that I have a lot of work to do this summer to clean up my shed and my barn that I have now. Like I have a lot of work to do.
How much property do you own?
So now with the house, we own 19 acres.
Nice, good for you, man.
Yeah, and I'm excited because it's deer paradise. So Robert's on, Bob Kloss is on. Merry Christmas from the Kloss family. Santa Claus's brother was on. Dude, he's getting ready to do some ice fishing. And Bob is. I'm ready. I've done a couple of trips with Bob in the fall for walleyes. Yep. Great guy, hell of a guy.
They're ice fishing up north. My son's ice fishing over in Eau Claire.
Is he already?
Oh, yeah, they got 4 or 5 inches ice.
His claim to fame is whitefish, man. We did the whitefish thing for head to head. That was awesome. I talked to Bob out there last year. So if you're looking for information, I would contact him for whitefishing. But anyways, weekend stuff. I think we kind of covered it. The Christmas thing, dude. I'm over it already.
We should spend 5 minutes every day in the show complaining about Christmas.
Well, that's
just makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I'm not alone.
Even out of Christmas season?
I'm not alone, Matt. I'm not alone.
It's only Wednesday.
I'm all alone, Matt.
We got Wednesday.
Okay, so I want to talk about that story I sent you.
Yeah, Andy. I sent it to Andy. Andy,
is that the thing? Like, okay, so
bring that. Not the reindeer. Yeah.
Let me change that.
God's green earth. Do you mistake an elk for a deer? Yep. How do you do that?
How is
that even a thing? Like, how's that possible?
Yep.
Like, shouldn't that be a part of shouldn't that be a part of hunter safety? Like, wildlife identification. Like, here's a white-tailed doe. Here's an elk doe.
And the thing about it is...
They call them cows, right?
Yeah, cows. Yeah, bull and cow calves. Yep.
What? It's like 80% bigger and it's not even the same animal. It doesn't look the same at all.
The thing is if you follow the DNR on social media, the sad part for the Wisconsin DNR is they have to do as many disclaimers as they absolutely possibly can notifications. Here's the difference. Here's
come on,
what
you shouldn't have to do that.
So it's, what is it, Jackson County? Now there was saying the DNR seeks tips from the public on illegal elk shootings in Jackson County. At this point, the question is out there, is it a game now? Because it is brought to light by the DNR so much that do these people think they're going to get away with it?
Yeah, but what for? Like what sick kind of twisted individual?
Like shooting sheep.
Fair. No, but like I think it would be awesome if elk would become.
Oh,
a part of the
100%,
state.
dude.
That would be badass.
Like Kentucky is one of those states that reintroduced elk, and they have a huntable population
That would be
now.
awesome. Like if I had elk walking around my woods in central Wisconsin, that would be cool. As
It
hell.
would be awesome,
That would be
dude.
awesome. Like I
Very
don't know if I
awesome.
could feed them, but it would be cool.
Right.
Why? Like what's wrong with people? Like why?
Yeah, this is one I kind of want to open this up because, like, I feel like this is just people. I think at this point now it's a freaking game.
You think so, or are people just that stupid?
Well, I think it's both.
Because I don't know how. Like I don't know. It hurts my head to even comprehend.
Because
you're sitting in a stand and not noticing the difference between the two animals.
So it's got to be like you're either shooting too early or shooting too late, right?
But even then, it's 80% bigger. They're not even close.
Yeah, calf is.
And
Yeah,
is
they
there
don't
like
even
a-
look the same.
No, but is there like a picture like somebody's ever put together of like a whitetail next to
Yeah,
an
go
elk?
to the DNR Facebook page.
Like
if you scroll
size
back,
and all of it is like it's ridiculous.
If you scroll back on the DNR Facebook page, before gun season started, they were doing a lot of social media
but you
saying,
shouldn't even have
"Here's
to.
the difference. Here's the difference."
on.
Like it is crazy. I mean, like, yeah. Well, even if you like the calf sizes is the one, like the calf and the doe sizes.
Afraid, but I don't know.
We're looking at like almost 1,000-pound animal with an elk.
right.
And a
200.
big 200 is
200
typical.
plus, yeah, for a huge whitetail.
Right. I mean,
200
280 on the hoof, maybe. But I mean,
Yeah,
come
but that's
on.
like one of your Saskatchewan
Yeah.
whitetails, not in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Not only are the antlers different,
is
the
that it?
color.
What's that one right there?
Oh yeah, bring that one up. There you go. Yeah, click that one. Oh, can you do it?
They should be able to do it. Hell yeah.
There.
Yeah, look at that.
Even though it's a cartoon.
So an adult whitetail doe is the same size as a 5-month elk.
But
I don't know. The problem is it's just it comes back to everything where the few wreck it for the many, right? That's how like life works. You know what I mean? Like you get a few bad people or a couple of dumbasses,
yep.
then we can't increase the elk population because you're stupid.
Right.
You're just flat out dumb.
Well, they're just gonna stop putting efforts into bringing them to the
Right,
state.
exactly.
If you know, like Lance says here, he goes like, what did he say? Elk versus whitetail, reindeer versus caribou. Who knows? Are they all the same?
Yeah.
Are they all the same?
right, they're all the same.
It's a hoofed animal.
Jesus.
I'm trying to catch up. Tail, no tail. Yeah, another great point, right? Like a
Exactly,
bobtail
right. Yeah, I didn't even
versus.
think about that.
Well, the color schemes, man. Like even like the mane that's around the elk. That's absolutely
Well,
insane.
can you imagine? Like, you're sitting in your 12-foot ladder stand, 15-foot ladder stand, and this animal walks out that's all of a sudden like almost as tall as you. You're like,
Yeah.
right? Like, whoa, what's going on? I don't
Then I
understand.
shot the new world record whitetail. Oh wait, it's an elk.
I don't know. I get the older I get, the less patience I have for just sheer stupidity. Do you feel like the same way with stuff?
Yeah, oh yeah.
there's just no excuse for that.
No patience.
Like if you mistake a walleye and a sauger, that's really
yeah, that's a pretty easy game to play.
But it's not even there. Like even those fish don't look the same at all.
No.
No, a walleye and a sauger, okay, great. They got some similar characteristics, right? Or
Yep.
king salmon and coho salmon are sort of the same, but not even really the same. Like I could see maybe mistaking that, but a whitetail and an elk are just come on.
I mean, you could start fire going into this whole gun conversation. I mean, that's typically when it's happening. We don't hear hardly any of it during the archery seasons. And
know your target and what's beyond. Isn't
correct.
that like rule number one?
Rule number one, right? I mean,
Know your
TAPK,
target and
yeah,
what's
yeah,
beyond.
Yep.
It's like literally rule number one.
Well, Tony says it's pure stupidity. It's the same as how do hunters get shot, when they're on a misfire, accidental misfire. That one, the accidents that happen with getting shot, like it's a travesty and nobody wants it. But that's a little more understandable because what's with the other thing with hunter safety?
Accidents are accidents.
Correct. And a safety on a gun is a
People make a
mechanical
mistake.
device. It's prone to failure, right? Like, that kind of stuff is it's
Well,
horrible.
see, like my boys, both my boys are awesome with their guns. fantastic, then I don't think I'll ever stop asking them if their safety's on.
No, yeah, never.
My dad still asks me all the time, "You got safety on?" I mean,
Yep.
just why? It doesn't hurt anything.
Well, how ingrained is it?
all it takes is that one time for me to be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Right?
Or how ingrained are you when you hand somebody a gun now? What is the thing you typically say? You got it?
Yep. Oh yeah.
From hunter safety, man. You got it, and you watch and you're paying.
Or that the breech is open, or you know what I mean? Like, oh
yes, yep. I mean, it's like I've even gone so far now. Like I have a nice gun that I bought from the Real Shot, the 6.5 Ruger. I love that gun. When I go out to my stand, it's like a number one rule, but I have my gun in a soft case. Because I hunt a lot of times out of hang-on stands or my saddle, and I'll pull it up in that soft case.
Right,
then I'll take it out and whatever else, just because I don't want that thing getting dirty. But it's unloaded. The clip is typically not even in it, or the magazine, whatever you want to call it. Right? That's a taboo word there. But then I don't load it and everything until I'm in the stand, and then I lower it down the same way.
Hey Lance, if you're still watching, do you see Jim's comment about some Dan Weston stuff? Do you want to see if Andrew's around? If you can get him an answer on that, because I have no idea. So, Jim, if you're still here, we'll try to get you an answer on that.
So you're watching Facebook?
Yep, I got Facebook.
I got YouTube open. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. That's just one of those things. Like,
it's so irritating. Like, it's just, come on.
It's education.
No, but is it though? Like, I feel like I could have my nephew watch like an episode of some kid's show, and he could tell me the difference between an elk. He's 7.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, here's an elk and a deer. Oh, okay. Like, do these look the same? He'd look at me and he'd be like, no.
So here's my question. Maybe in that article says, Andy, I didn't see it, but what is the penalties if you get caught doing it? It should be absolutely strict enough that this crap is actually.
Well, it should be you accidentally shoot an elk, you're done for like 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Like super strict.
But
not a fine.
Yes.
Not monetary. Like maybe there should be a monetary fine because they got to rebuy that animal now or whatever, or however that works. But it should be like really strict, not a slap on the wrist.
No, it should be strict enough that if it is a game for some, that if you do get caught, like it's like, man, you're 10 years jail for doing
big
this.
time.
So
Like,
nobody
you're
else
done.
wants to play that game.
Agreed.
It is crazy. Hey, are you back on the Yellowstone?
I have not watched the season yet.
No?
We're watching a show on Netflix, Manifest. Have you ever seen?
No, that one I haven't seen.
Pretty good. So we're trying to get caught up on that one. I can only do one at a time. You binge them so fast now, it's hard to watch 3 or 4 at once.
Yep. Andy, are you a Yellowstone?
I have never watched it. No.
No.
Did you watch Sons of Anarchy?
Yes.
Okay, so Yellowstone is
The Cowboys.
the cowboy version of Sons of Anarchy.
I've never seen Sons.
Oh my
You've
God.
told me I need to watch it a billion times.
Like, it's probably the best show I've ever watched.
I never watched Sons of Anarchy until actually this year, and then I binge watched it all.
It's amazing, is it not?
It's pretty good, yeah.
It's way better than pretty good.
So you compare.
I mean, Breaking Bad's better for
You
sure.
think so?
but-
See, I did not. I watched Breaking Bad. I thought Breaking Bad was, excuse me, really good. I did not think it was Sons good.
Really?
No.
But yeah, it's really
I mean,
good.
Breaking Bad's probably top 5 of my favorite shows all time, but Sons is by far the best.
I finished watching Sons, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go start a motorcycle gang.
Right. I want to see Andy in a motorcycle gang.
Yeah, Andy, what would the name of your motorcycle gang be?
No idea. I'd have to come up with something creative.
No, but like, so Yellowstone is the cowboy version of Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's, well, like Carl Carpenter and I were talking about, he's like, how many more times can you make Beth look more like badass? And no, this season, I don't want to
Don't
spoil
ruin it. I did not watch it. I haven't
Well,
watched
it's
it yet.
this season is all about the woman power, in my opinion.
Okay.
There's a lot more
Kind of a theme in the world.
ladies coming into this season.
All right.
There's a lot more like,
Lately here.
Does it
Yeah.
take place in modern time, or is it
Yeah,
like
yeah.
back in the day?
No, it's like right now.
Yep, it's right now. Yeah.
That show is so popular they actually came out with the prequel to it, and
Now they came on another one, dude.
Another one?
So what was it, 1850 or whatever? Now there's like 1823 is coming
really?
out.
Like way
Yeah.
back?
Yeah, they're going to like, well, because that's what they're trying to do in the show is they're trying to like make you realize how long the Dutton family has been on Yellowstone. And even, what is it, not Jamie, Casey's wife,
Yep.
there's a part like there she talked about like before they owned it, We owned it. My family owned it. So they were the ones, right? You know, so it's, I don't know, it's getting good. Like I like it, but
we'll get caught up.
But it's like all of a sudden now they're like, well, we're 2 episodes left before the final. I'm like,
how many has it been this year?
What are we on, like 4 or 5
Oh,
now,
that's
I
it?
think, maybe? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it's, I don't know, they said mid-season final. So are they like going to take a little
Take a
freaking
break for the holidays
and,
or something, maybe.
yeah, but they film all this stuff before the holidays.
Gotta stretch out those.
You got to get the Hallmark
dollars.
Channel. They're moving their time, dude.
They gotta stretch out that advertising dollar, man. I mean, it's a lot.
But that's our Sunday night. Like out of all the chaos, you know, we try to sit down and try to watch Yellowstone.
We'll watch that right when we're almost done with season 4 of Manifest.
So what's this one about?
So Manifest is a lot like, remember Lost, like the ABC Lost.
Yep.
It's a little bit like that. It's a little bit like that. Have you watched Manifest, Andy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're like 4 episodes into season 4, so don't ruin the rest of it for me. Anything before that, go nuts. But it's
To me, it sounds like an airplane movie.
yeah, it is.
It's a lot like Lost.
Plane disappears, comes back 5 years later, and all of the stuff that happens around the passengers of that plane basically trying to figure out what the hell happened. Is that a good way
Was
to
this
put
like
it?
an ABC show for a
No,
while?
I think it's a Netflix original, is it not?
I'm not sure on that.
Okay. It might be. I don't know.
There was something like this, I thought, on like ABC.
Yeah, it was
for
called
a-
Lost.
No, it wasn't. There was another one. Yeah, I like these serious TV type shows, but I can only get in like 1 or 2 at a time.
That's what I'm saying. I do one at a time. I can't keep track. I'm not smart enough.
It was
to
on
keep track.
NBC.
It
That's
was.
what it was on it. Okay, so
Okay.
that's what. Yep.
Was season 4 on NBC too? I mean, there's no reason it couldn't be. It's not.
I do remember the show. Like
There's no-
we tried getting into it. I can't get into it.
Okay, you just couldn't get into it.
Like the other show I was watching for a long time was The Good Doctor. Did you ever watch that one? No, that was a pretty good one. It's an autistic doctor, so on
Okay.
and so forth. But then, like to me, like once I miss a couple of them, I just can't go back. And I'm like, whatever. Like it's too much dinking around to get caught.
See, and
back
that's
up.
with us. I don't watch anything on real TV.
Are you still watching wrestling?
What?
Are you still watching all the wrestlings?
No, I found on, it's funny. So I found on the Peacock Network
Yeah.
that they had all the WWE stuff from
Are
like
you done now?
the original. I got kind of burnt out with it. I went on like a 2-week binge where I started watching all the WrestleManias from like day 1.
Yeah.
And then I watched all the Survivor Series just like up until it got stupid. Because like wrestling is actually kind of cool. Like when we were in high school,
Yeah.
through like the early 2000s.
Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Heck
baby.
yeah! So it was really kind of it was a cultural deal back
yeah.
then with Stone Cold and The Rock and all that
There
stuff.
was like Monday nights, and then
Oh,
it went to like Monday Night
absolutely.
Raws, right? Is that
Yeah,
what it was?
buddies night. We used to all get together and watch all of the pay-per-views and all that
Yep.
stuff. So I kind of watched all of those up until that same time frame, and then I'm like, yeah. And then I got kind of burnt out with it. You can only watch so much of that, and it's
So you think you'll go back and
I
start?
don't, probably not. It was
Friday
just
night.
one of those things. It's like I was playing video games with my buddies at night online,
Yeah.
and I just turned something on the TV, and it was something that I didn't have to actually like watch.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
you can just listen to it.
Yeah, just listen to it or just motion on the TV. It's just
So
kinda
did
filling the
you
dead-
think it
dead
like for
space.
you got burned out when you started having more wrestlers that you didn't recognize their name?
I
Then
think
you're
so.
like, I don't.
Yeah,
just
I
don't
think
care
it was.
anymore.
I don't know. Well, I think the storylines got really weak.
Yeah, none of the stories are as good as
No, like
back
when,
then.
like the Attitude Era with Stone Cold and whatever.
Yes.
Like that was really, really good stuff.
Yep.
I think it was a male soap opera basically or whatever, right? But like I think the storylines got real cheesy and they got not as edgy and things got a little bit lax and I guess they're trying to bring it back now or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Well, I guess Triple H is like runs it now.
over McMahon.
Yeah, well,
Or
yeah.
is it a totally
yeah.
different?
No, McMahon had to leave basically because of some inappropriate actions. Is that
Oh.
a fair way to put it?
Okay.
So he's kind of out. So basically, I think Stephanie and Triple H
Because they're
are-
married, right?
Yeah, I think they kind of run the whole thing now.
All right. Here
from what-
it is.
and I'm sure that
Stephanie, hot or not?
she used to be.
She's not.
I haven't
No.
seen-
I don't
up
think
a-
anymore,
Bring,
but
can
I
you bring
think-
up a current picture of her?
I think back
Used
in the
to be.
day, I think everybody thought she was hot.
Oh yeah, man.
Like,
Something about that, like that persona she had, and there was a couple other
I
ones.
think most guys didn't like her for her persona. Just saying. I
Super
don't,
smart.
I don't think that was at the top of
Super-
anybody's list, Matt.
Super smart.
I don't
right?
think that was the top of anybody's list.
Yeah, but it, like in my opinion, it's like the lead singer of a band. If it's a lady, like oh my, she's pretty good looking. If she's not. This is more current Stephanie right here.
It should be
really
it.
unfortunate picture.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess when you put a lot of makeup to it, she still looks kind of similar, but not really. Still smart. Still really smart looking.
Places these shows go.
Yeah. But I got out of the wrestling thing too.
Yeah, I don't really watch it. It was really just I don't watch it like religiously anymore. It was just a space filler.
Yep.
That's all it was. Just something to do. Because you can only watch. It's hard to like what I found, Andy, when I'm playing video games. Like I like having something on just as noise, but I can't have something that I have to like watch. So
No.
I can't put a movie on or something that I feel even if it's a movie I've watched 100 times, I feel like I still want to watch it.
Right.
And
Because there's a
I
part
can't-
all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I remember this
Yeah,
part.
right,
It's awesome.
exactly. And I always put the funny crap on. I'm watching Billy Madison or whatever, right?
Yep.
So
Andy, like, I want to get into this gaming thing a little bit more with you, and I think we could have a whole entire episode of just you and I talking, or you and I, Brian, talking. But like, do you have to like set the mood when you're playing games? Is that like a whole thing? Like, do you have like awesome lights that you turn on or something like
I
this?
bet you Andy does. I don't.
Oh yeah, I got a whole room dedicated to it. So soon to be 2 rooms because I'm redoing a second room for it. So
Andy takes geekdom to a whole new level.
yes.
Yeah. But like, cause your wife is kind of in that same, or your girlfriend or wife, whatever. She's kind of in that same world, right?
Yep. She hasn't been doing it as much lately because she's been working a crap ton, but yeah, she enjoys it too. So, and she likes all the lights and all the geekiness stuff as well. So our house is kind of flooded with it.
To each their own, man.
Do you guys ever have like 1v1s, like where you're in one room and she's in another room playing the same game?
No, she refuses to play with me.
Because you're better, or she just doesn't want to like.
I get too
cry
into
face?
She gets too into it.
He
She doesn't
gets
wanna
to
start-
it.
She doesn't want to start a fight. Well, think about it. If she kicked his ass. Can
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
imagine?
saying, right?
Can you imagine? Andy'd be throwing stuff and crying.
Imagine that next day at work when
Oh
you came
my
back.
God.
Dude,
Yeah, I
like,
wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Just got beat by his wife in this video game, which probably happened. Is she any good? Like, what kind of games does she like
Depends.
to play?
So she doesn't mind Warzone, but Overwatch is a big one for her. She does like playing Overwatch.
But isn't Overwatch the same general?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
She did get into Fortnite quite a bit. She used to play that pretty heavy. But I don't know. Right now, she's been replaying Skyrim.
is that a James Bond movie or game?
It's
I've
a
never played
role-playing game.
What is that about? Is that like an old school, like a Japanese RPG, or what is it?
So it's essentially like World of Warcraft, if you guys ever got familiar with that.
Yep.
Except it's a lot more detailed and better graphics. So you can pick a race and then the type of character you want to play.
What's an RPG?
Role-playing game.
Role-playing
Oh,
game.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like medieval time-based.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of different cities and worlds, and you can be like a thief and steal from all the shops, and then you got to watch out for all the guards, and it's interesting. It's fun.
So is the world of conquering or beating a game, is that over with now? Like, is that not even a thing because they're all live on the internet?
No, I think there's a lot of games that you can still beat, like we used to play, and you can
Yeah.
still beat them. But there's a lot of these just never-ending, 1v1 or 1v50 in Last Man Standing, and then when you're done, you just start another one again.
Start another one.
See, and I find those the best because I don't have to try to remember. It's like I don't get to play every day like religiously.
Yeah.
And again, I don't remember crap anymore, it seems. So like trying to remember where I was in this like, big long story or whatever, I don't find as much fun as I used to.
Yeah.
Where with like the Fortnites, I can turn it on, I can shoot it up for like an hour or whatever, and then I don't have to play for a month, and I can come back and it's exactly where I was the last time.
Yeah, I see. I struggle with that too. Like, especially with those single-player games or those role-playing games, because I don't play those as often, and then it's so far in between each time I play. I completely forget what the story was or what I was
Yep.
doing. So I just like to throw on a shooter and get some dubs, and
Get
that's
some
it.
dubs, even though he doesn't get any dubs.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Sounds like you need a better squad.
I don't remember
I
what
do.
game like we used to play as a kid. It's probably more on Nintendo or PlayStation, but like you would pause it and then you would go do something because you didn't want to lose your place in the game.
Oh yeah.
Mario.
Was it Mario?
I did that with Mario when I was a kid. I had to pause the NES because I didn't want to lose my progress, and kept it paused while we went to my sister's ballet, and then came back and resumed.
Yep, dude, it's just crazy. I saw something today on TikTok. It was like, it must have been from the 90s. It was like, must have been the first ever like video game playoff. Like they had 3 kids, come onto the screen, and they had to start off with playing Mario. They had to beat like a level in Mario. Then they went into a hockey match. They had to score three goals, and then last was it was a race car game. I remember what the heck it was. It had like you had to drive a Ferrari.
Oh wow!
And it was like the first kid to complete all 3 of these things was the winner of it.
So you mentioned TikTok. It's kind of a little segue here, but have you seen this stuff about they're talking about starting to ban TikTok in the U.S.?
No, why?
Yeah, because supposedly it's a government. It's a Chinese. The company that owns TikTok's a Chinese company, and they are supposedly using it as this big information collection.
Yeah, logging everything.
Tool. They're logging everything that all the users are watching and doing, and all of this stuff.
They can get your images on your phone, like everything.
So that's been a rumor forever.
Well, supposedly they're starting to pass legislation about banning it on any and all government devices, and a lot of them want to just get rid of it completely.
So it would be like black market if you were able to get on TikTok.
Basically,
again.
yeah. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Well, it's the fastest growing platform
knows?
that's out there right now.
Yeah, but that's something to definitely keep an eye on, especially from a marketing standpoint. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and if you look at it, like Instagram's got the same thing now. Facebook's got the same thing now.
YouTube.
They all got the same. Yeah, YouTube's got the same thing now. So
Yep.
it's not like people won't migrate to something else if it happened.
It would quickly switch over.
Yeah, they'd find it because obviously the short form video is not really going anywhere. That's
right.
I think that's kind of here to stay for a long time.
Yep.
But the app itself might go away.
So even if you deleted your account, they still obviously have all that information.
I mean, I think they have what they took right away. But
what the heck do you think they're looking for? Everything and all things?
Who knows, man? I don't know. I'm not Chinese.
So are you not as active on it now?
I definitely am not. No,
Really?
Yeah, I just kind of migrated back to Instagram and whatever. I just, it's kind of scary, right?
Right. Well,
a little bit.
Yeah, but how do you know that same stuff's not going on with what's
You
the big
don't.
thing about Twitter right now? There was some conspiracies with Twitter?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on with Twitter.
Right. Is like what did Elon just released a bunch of information
Yeah,
about
he's like on the 4th file dump or something about how certain government officials were kind of begging Twitter to ban certain individuals and all this stuff.
Yes.
And I don't really want to get into the political side of it, but it's definitely interesting. I mean, you can't see the problem with social media has always been, what section is that? There's a section in the government code. It's like section 230 or something that says you can't be held liable for what's done on your platform as long as you're not editing what's on your platform.
Got ya.
Is that pretty close, Andy?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Don't quote me on this. I follow it. I'm not really up on it big time, but there's a section in the deal where like a newspaper can be liable for what it says because it's an editorial.
Yep.
But there was a deal passed with these social media companies where you're not accountable for what you do or what's said on your platform because you're not an editor. Well, as soon as the social media companies started doing some of this stuff,
Where you could edit it?
well, not where you can edit it, where the social media company was making decisions based on what you said.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're starting to step on First Amendment rights and all this other kind of stuff where it gets really, really, really muddy. And they've been arguing that. Oh, it is Section 230.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty good. Proud of
I
myself.
thought you said you can't remember anything.
Well, some of that might be it, guys. Anyway, but that's what was kind of going on. Well, now some of the stuff's coming to light, and I saw somewhere this morning that there was like 50-some subpoenas submitted now for interviewing for the Congress to bring in some of the people that are getting called out in some of these Twitter files because they were doing some not so good things. I don't know.
Huh.
So it'd be interesting to see how that all goes.
So that's crazy.
And seeing a lot of that, I think, is why, again, not to go super political, but you got one side that really wasn't real fond of Elon Musk buying Twitter.
Yep.
Because they knew some of the stuff was going to come out. Whether or not it happened or it didn't happen or whatever, kind of to be determined, right?
Yep.
But typically when there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right?
Yep. If it smells like poop, it probably is poop, right?
Right.
So we're kind of narrowing it down. Remember, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Fix TV. And Fix TV is our video on demand platform. The app is up and operational.
Yep. iOS, Android, Fire TV, and Roku.
Yep. So if you want to
It works. It's awesome. It's
cool. Phenomenal. And I'm monitoring the comments there. So the shows go out live, and then you can rewatch them again on Fix TV at another time.
Because who doesn't want to watch an hour of you and I sitting here shooting the shit?
God, well, I can name about 1 billion people.
It sucks. Like Mondays are meant to talk about Packer games. Monday mornings.
So I watched.
And there's no Packer game.
What was the game? The Chargers and the Dolphins last night.
Yep.
Off of our conversation from Friday. I kind of tuned into that one a little bit.
The Dolphins did not look great.
No, they did not.
They did not.
They did not. And everything you're saying, they are fast. I did see a lot of that.
But there was a lot of drop balls.
Justin, how do you say his last name? Herbert. That dude is absolutely phenomenal, and he is a sidearm slinging son of a gun.
He's got a bazooka, doesn't he?
Dude.
That dude's got a cannon.
Some of the throws I was listening. Who was commentating on that game? I don't remember who they were.
That's Collinsworth and.
But they were talking about like how he just makes it look effortless, dude. Some of the throws that guy made were unbelievable. He had the one to Evans. The dude was covered.
Yeah, that guy's got a cannon. Like I've seen him make throws that are like just dart. Like we play a lot of football, right? You coach, I coach. Like a 30-yard dig route, so a 30-yard in coming across the middle of the field. That's not an easy throw to make.
No.
And when you make that throw and the ball like doesn't elevate,
yeah, it's just straight, and it's the tightest.
Because I don't know about you, but if I'm going to throw 30 yards, I got to put some air under it. I'm like Joe Montana over here. I'm like, I'm putting some air under it to try to get it there.
Yep.
And these guys are just throwing lasers.
Yeah. So I think I turned it off. I think that it was like a minute left. So obviously Chargers won that one, right?
Yeah, they did.
They won that one.
Yeah, but there was like, if you look at yesterday, Brady got his butt kicked by
that new quarterback
by
from
Mr.
San Fran.
Irrelevant.
Yeah,
the third string guy,
Purdy.
Yep. I think that's a testament to he's probably a super smart kid because he knows the system. He looks like he knows the system.
Yep.
Or the coaches just did a fantastic job getting the system ready for him for that week.
Yep.
But he's got a lot of talent. I still like the Niners. It's hard to like the Niners with a third string quarterback come playoff time.
Yes.
So I think you're going to have to tip your cap to the Cowboys or the Eagles. A little bit. Yep. I think Minnesota's a joke. They got steamrolled by the Lions yesterday.
Yeah, don't they have the best in our conference?
They do.
Yeah,
but I think honestly,
mean anything.
I think the Lions are a better team than the Vikings, and the Lions are just choke artists. This is what they do. Like they just choke.
Yeah.
Tell me when they haven't choked, and I'll right.
Right. So any other awesome games this weekend?
Not that I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of them because like I said, I was on the road Saturday, which obviously wasn't football, but then yesterday my son had a bowling tournament, so we were doing that.
How do you do?
He did really good.
What's his average?
His average, so it was a 9-pin tournament. So his average is like 110. In 10 pin, 9 pin, like the first game he just was because 9. So if you're not familiar with it, I was not until yesterday. But 9, if you get 9 pins on your first ball, it's considered a strike.
Oh, okay.
But then as far as spares goes, you have to pick up the full spare.
Gotcha.
So if you get 7, they still got to get all 3 to count as a spare. You can't get 2 out of the 3 to count. But 9 is a strike. He had 8 strikes in his first game. Like he bowled like a 232 or something.
What?
It was a little, but still way over. I mean, he ended up bowling like a 232, a 157, and a 141. Again, 9 pins, but yeah, he's a 2-hand bowler, which that's a whole thing now.
So like
bowling,
granny?
No. Oh God, no. It's like 2 hands. It's not granny at all. Like they come off the side, and I mean it's just massive spin to it, and like it's a legitimate thing now. Like there's a lot of 2-hand bowlers. There's even 2-hand pro bowlers.
Really?
Yep. So he bowls 2-handed. I mean, there's a kid that he bowls with that's working for a college scholarship, and he can actually spin it both ways, right-handed. He can come underneath it and spin it the other way.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So is that like something that he was taught to do that, or
he started out. So his grandpa was a big bowler.
Okay.
So grandpa wanted to get him into it, and he started out regular.
Yep.
And then this one day he's like, "Dad, do you care if I try it?" Because he saw some other kids doing it. I'm like, I don't really care.
Right.
And he was just naturally like pretty good at it. And he's an engineer type. We were talking last time. He's really smart. So I think he's got a real kind of a ability to kind of see the angles and all of that. So yeah, he loves it.
So Now, is that a team weekend for him, or is that like a
No, it's
bowling
an individual. Yeah, it's more
So did he
individual.
win his everything?
We don't know yet. So it was a Saturday, Sunday thing. We bowled Sunday, or he bowled Sunday. I didn't bowl. He bowled Sunday. We'll find out today or tomorrow. I don't know when you find out. But
Oh,
it's
really?
Yeah, it was a smaller place over in Poisippi we went.
Oh yeah,
Super awesome.
Medell's, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's still scorecard yet, or did they?
No, they got digital now.
Did they go now?
Yeah. That place is kick ass. I'm
Yeah, they
definitely
got
going
good
back
food
there.
too,
That was
yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Trot's family spent a lot of time in Medell's.
Really? Okay.
I went there for my 21st.
Nice. So yeah, so we like every Friday night, Nolan's in bowling league. Like that's just his thing. He likes it. So and it's making a huge comeback.
Bowling. is?
Bowling's making a
Well,
huge
it's like
comeback.
we discussed on Friday. There's just so many more possibilities. You know, it's like basketball season,
Yep.
right? But now there's bowling for kids.
It's but even like the lanes in Oshkosh, like a lot of the bowling alleys in the valley here have gotten revamped in the last couple of years. Leagues are getting popular again, and I think it's one of those cheaper activities like hobbies you can do that's close to home.
Does he have his own
You know-
bowling ball?
He's got two of them.
Super Bowl actually does a big New Year party
Oh, I'm
every
sure.
New Year's there. It's actually pretty fun.
Well, like Revs in Oshkosh is packed every night. They got leagues now, and it's packed. Like you can't
Adult
even get
and
into
kid
open
leagues.
bowl and stuff. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely making a huge comeback because it was big when we were kids.
Oh yeah, bowling
It was huge,
Yep.
and it's definitely making a big comeback.
Yep. Man,
So yeah, it's.
two-hand bowling though.
Yeah. They have. I mean, they got a whole set of rules around if you're going to bowl two-handed. Like your ball can only have two holes. Can't have the thumb hole. Like they got a whole bunch of rules around two-hand bowling now.
See, like the last time I bowled, I like to spin. I'm a thumb out, not a thumb in. Like I just the two in and then spin it. But like after like the spin stops working for me, then it just starts to go to like pick a light ball and throw it as hard as you can
As
down
hard
the
as you
lane.
can.
Right? If you get a pin or two,
Right.
you did really, really well.
So yeah, you might like two-hand bowling.
I might try that. I like the concept of trying to get the reverse spin on it.
Yeah, well, because it makes getting that 10-pin easier.
Yeah, you bring it around this way.
Yeah.
And there's nothing cooler in my mind than like watching that ball hug the gutter, and then it breaks and just crashes.
I like when they explode. Just
Yes.
boom.
I can't spin and explode. Can you spin and explode?
I sometimes.
Are you a straight bowler or are you a spinner
I'm
too?
a spinner. I don't get as much. I don't know. I don't get as much hook on it as I like, and then I get cranky, and then
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been bowling a really, really long time. I'm not good. I'm average. I'm not terrible.
Yep. You have good games and bad games?
Yep.
Like a bad game is like 50 something.
No,
For me.
like a bad game's like a 150.
Yeah.
Like
That's like my
130.
best game right there.
Like a 150?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my average is probably 170, 180.
Yeah.
Not terrible. Not great. I mean, there's some guys I know in Winter County that are like stupid.
Do
good
they live
bowlers.
stream that? We should have fixed reach
I
out.
thought about it. They do, but so like the high schools, like Winter County's got a huge high school bowling team. It's a pretty popular deal, and like they do live stream them, but it's like the Facebook camera, and it's hard to see anything, and like they got to come in there and like get it mounted up high, and so you can see some stuff.
That'd be awesome if they can make a camera in the ball or on a pin, on the top pin, like the pylon.
That'd be tough. You could definitely like when you watch PBA, they've got cameras down there.
Yeah,
they're
above
not
it.
on the actual pin because I
Right.
just don't think it would ever survive the abuse.
It's
You
like-
got that. You got a 15-pound ball rolling down there at 18 miles an hour. That's good.
Let's do it. Let's make a pin camera. That would like a pylon cam. That would be pretty sweet.
It would be interesting.
Oh man, you mentioned something
I don't
else.
think it's going to look a whole lot different though than the camera that's just kind of mounted in there.
Right, I know.
gonna look
But
pretty
if that
much the same.
pin really just blows up,
I don't think a ball camera, like you said, would work real well.
no, you get sick watching it.
Pretty nauseous.
Be like,
pretty
you guys
fast.
played your point of view games. Like that's why I kind of stopped playing video games because after a while I just get sick.
Yep.
Because like all my body's going this way, but my head's looking this way
Yep.
yet. I'm like, oh.
Try
Okay.
some VR and then you'll really get
No, I
sick.
can't do VR.
We did. We brought VR here one time. Well, Aaron brought
Oh yeah,
it.
that's right.
I can do it for a little while, but then I get sick.
Dude, there was an archery game that we played that day. It was
you dominating?
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would get it just for that reason. Do they have hunting VR games, Andy?
Oh yeah. I mean, you can almost play anything, especially if you have a computer, because you can load the game on your computer and then display it on the VR headset, and then it'll become VR.
Yep. That I would play that one for sure. Like then the season would never ever stop. It would never stop.
So do you like? So you love hunting, right? Do you like coyote hunt in the winter? Then
Yes,
Do you-
that's a sad story. I had two come out in my backfield Saturday morning, two big dogs. One was huge. It was more tan. Long story short, I got coyote fever. I missed.
Got Kyle fever?
Coyote fever.
Oh, coyote fever.
Yeah, because they got through my field, got to my truck, got my gun out, went out there. They were still they went into the woods. I called them back in. I actually have a coyote call, like a squeaker, a predator call. Call them back in, and I was leaning on a dog kennel. That's how redneck this is. Sounds
awesome.
right. Yeah, like I lean on a dog kennel. I get the scope on him. I'm like, dude, you gotta calm down. I'm like, I know, but I just want to shoot this coyote. I'm having this conversation with myself. And finally, like this, it's there, and I slammed the trigger and I missed it. You
How
know,
far was shot?
oh, it had to be 120.
Okay.
It wasn't close, but it was a square on shot. It was this way, not broadside.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Broadside.
I took a crack at one during gun season this year on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was running at like 120 through the trees. I missed.
Yeah, but I do. And the one thing too, Brian, I think you would really like this time of year, because like we're getting to be the tail end of deer season. If you like rabbit hunting's a ton of fun, especially over dogs. Crow hunting.
Okay.
If you've never tried crow hunting, dude, you need to try crow hunting.
Really?
Yep.
How? Why?
They're super smart. They are super smart. When I was going to high school, like I got into it like my junior, senior year. Yeah. I got into it with my brothers and then another guy, and that was our weekends, was crow hunting.
Really?
Yep.
So is it calling them in?
Oh
or
yeah, you call them in.
like ducks, or like do they
Yep.
circle and land? Or
Oh
what?
yeah.
Really?
They're super smart. Like,
That'd be kinda
so
fun.
like around us, obviously we have a lot of Christmas trees, and that's, to me, that was like the perfect style hunt, because like the trees were just low enough that the birds would have to come down, but you can't hunt the same field twice because they're so smart. They'll sky you. Like, you'll get one or two maybe dumb ones on the second attempt, but like when you hunt a field for the first time, if you hit it right, you could probably have like 50 to 100 crows come in at one time.
Really?
And you'll have you might get 10 to 15 shots on that field. That's a good day, right, on one field.
So they'll keep coming in that day.
Oh yeah.
But then they have a team meeting at night, and then they say they're not coming back.
They did super smart, because then like we would try hunting, and like say 7 days goes by, we're on
Okay.
that field the next day, and you'll get crows coming, but then they're up way higher. We're so much where one of the guys I was hunting with put the 12 gauge away and start bringing his 10 gauge with the turkey load, because they're up 50, 60, 70, 80 yards up in the air. They won't
Wow.
come any closer, and he got tired of it. So he brought out the 12 gauge full with turkey load on it just so we could shoot these bastards.
Wow.
It is a fun,
What do you do with them? Fertilizer?
that's the hard part. We would try to throw some to barn cats. Even barn cats wouldn't eat them.
No?
We got to think of what they eat.
Well, right, yeah.
I mean,
they're flying rats,
scavengers.
basically.
I'm sure there's people out there that have eaten crow. It's probably good, but it's a really fun time. It's awesome on a
Good
Saturday.
fertilizer, right? For food plots and stuff.
Yeah. Or maybe there's, you might have some barn cats. Maybe they're not picky, but like, yeah, it is a blast. And I want to get into more like pigeon hunting, because I heard pigeon's really good.
Okay.
That's the next thing.
Like
I want.
mourning dove pigeon? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yep. Because they eat all the same thing like a turkey does, grain
for
and
sure.
stuff.
Yep.
And that can be really fun, especially if you still got some farms in your area. And if you play your cards right, most farmers want you to shoot pigeons because they poop on everything.
Oh, right, for
in
sure.
the hayloft, in the barns, and all that stuff. And if you do that right, like you can decoy pigeons just like you can decoy anything.
Yep.
So you can put out.
That would be fun.
Like I got a pretty big mink farm that's by my house, like one of the last mink farms that you'll probably ever hear of. And I was talking to the owner of that the other day, and it's crazy how many pelts like they don't produce as much anymore, like when it was popular.
Okay.
But because like they're constantly spreading out feed and stuff like that, there's tons of pigeons and tons of crows around these areas. But crow hunting's a great time, so that's fun. I do enjoy rabbit hunting in the wintertime. That's a lot of fun. I'll go with my bow for like 2 or 3 times with foo arrows, and then when I can't get shots because they're in then I'll just start bringing the 20 gauge out again, or the pellet gun.
Is that because they get in real thick then?
Yeah, they're in nasty cover. And
They get in real thick because of the temperature, or because you're hunting them?
I think they wise up.
Okay.
My father-in-law's got a ton of rabbits. They have a big garden, and they got chickens and stuff like that. And there's usually a ton of rabbits, and they hate them around there. So they want as many shot as they can. So I'll hunt them hard in the wintertime.
That sounds cool.
So, but like I said, I like the challenge of trying to shoot. I'll get it 1 or 2 with my bow, and then I'll start putting it, because he wants them to basically eradicate it. And rabbit's good. If you haven't had rabbit, like that's a good.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something to do this time of year, but I'm still banking on. I got a couple more doe tags to fill. That's what I want to get out. And I'm going to try something for the first time, deer shoulder. Have you ever made a whole deer shoulder?
No. Like they roast it, or what?
Yep.
Really? So you don't have to deal with all the bone and
Nope.
the cartilage?
'Cause
Does it? So the deer shoulder's got so much cartilage in it.
I'd all
Does that kind of go away?
Yep.
What does it do? Just cook off? Or
Yeah,
what?
it cooks off.
Okay.
So it obviously turns out shredded, like a roast, right?
Yeah, it'd be way easier than deboning the thing. Shoulders are terrible.
And what solidified is I was talking to my best friend this week, and he's like, "Have you tried deer shoulder yet?" I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, we've all skinned it and took all."
Yeah, that's the worst.
He's like, "Stop doing it." He's like, "Bro," he goes, "I did it like just like a pot roast. You sear it, then he put it in his Dutch oven. I'm gonna try it in my slow cooker."
Okay.
And he said you just let it go low and slow for like 5 hours or whatever it takes, and then it just shreds off the bone. All the stuff is gone. You throw in your potatoes and carrots and your celery and your onions and all that stuff. And he said it's the best. And there's been a lot. He got the recipe off of Meat Eater.
If it works, let me know because I'd like to try that because working with shoulder muscle means the worst.
It is the worst.
Like I usually take like that bicep out.
Yep.
Put that with a hamburger and stuff like that.
Grind
but
it
the
all
rest
up.
of it's just a pain in the.
Yeah, so I took the 2 shoulders off the deer I shot, and so that's what I'm excited about too. So I shot this doe November 13th, and I've had her in my garage ever since. And luckily the temperatures have been right, so that thing's been hanging for about a month.
Oh wow!
So like
mine only get to hang for like a couple days.
Yeah, so I'm excited because normally I like to let my deer hang for at least a week.
Okay.
If they don't freeze solid, right, in the cool temps. That's why I like shooting deer early, but then I don't have the freezer capabilities. So I like to kind of wait until we start getting those 30-degree.
So what do you find is better about hanging them for a week?
Oh,
like
they get a lot more tender.
Is it?
The gaminess is more gone.
Okay.
And if you ever heard of like dry aging meat,
Yep.
they'll get that kind of that crust layer. So this deer, because what I did is because the worst thing in the world is I actually took the hide down to the neck. And I let it hang with the no hide on, just everything exposed. So it did like the hams and the straps had that crust layer on it. Well, the straps didn't because I had a fat layer left over the top.
Okay.
But like the hams did, so I had to kind of skin that off. But the meat underneath it was super, super dark red compared to the way it normally is.
Okay.
And even like getting some of the white tallow off, or it just scraped right off.
So it's a lot easier than when it's like fresh.
So I'm really curious. It's one or two things, right? It's rotten and it just didn't smell rotten, or it's absolutely perfect now.
Okay.
So in normal conditions, I wouldn't let one hang this long. Normally, I at least let it hang a week in the right conditions. But this one, I'm excited because Molly doesn't like.
It's not froze solid. Because it's in your garage.
In my garage.
Okay.
So
what is the best temperature to let it hang?
Well, I think most walk-ins, and you can look it up probably, I think most walk-ins are like 40 to 42 degrees. I think that's a perfect like walk-in cooler temperature.
Okay,
My
yep.
garage kind of stayed that whole temp. Like I would check it when we had those warm spell, when it was like 50s outside. I still went in there and it was still really, really cold to touch. So I was making sure it was good, kind of monitoring the temperature that way. Because if it would have got where the garage started getting like 50s, then I would have had to butcher it right away, finish butchering it that night. So I did.
What I've been thinking about doing is I found a portable cooler that's literally built for hanging deer.
Yes.
And actually putting one of those in my house so I can quarter it up north, bring the quarters back, and then just hang the quarters.
Yep.
And let them hang for a week or whatever in that 40-degree temperatures.
Yep. We looked at those. We thought about carrying them at the Real Shot. Is that the same company,
probably.
right? At ATA,
Yep.
we looked.
I haven't looked at them in quite a while, but because like right now I had to timing,
Yep.
right?
Oh,
I couldn't let them hang, so I had to quarter them. I deboned them a little bit, but then I had to bring it all back, and now most of it's in my freezer.
Yep.
So now I'm gonna have to pull it out, let it thaw for like a day.
Yep.
So I can work with it, and then I got to do with stuff and refreeze it.
See,
which isn't the greatest, but what else am I gonna do?
No, and I don't like when it gets frozen solid. Now, on the flip
you
side,
just gotta let it. You gotta let it sit for a day.
But it grinds a lot better when it's slightly frozen.
Yes, it does.
It grinds way better when it's slightly frozen. It does not gung up your machine as much.
Just get a bigger one.
Well, I did this last year for Christmas, dude. I
got like a 2-horse, and it doesn't get bound up at all.
That's what. So I've been waiting all since last year Christmas. I did not shoot a deer that late in the year last year, so I got this. I can't think it's the new company. It's Meet Your Maker. That company.
Okay.
They're real big now on social media, so I asked for that for Christmas, and it's a big one. It's like a 1-horse or bigger.
I think mine's a 2, and it just eats everything.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like the thing weighs like 100 pounds. Like it is heavy. So
Best hamburger you'll ever have, though, if you do it right.
Oh yeah, yep. So Molly really wants me to make venison bacon.
Okay.
So that's kind of the goal with this deer. And then she's like, "Well, are you going to make the whole one in venison bacon?" I'm like, "Not the whole one." She's like, "Well, then you probably should go shoot more." I'm like, "Wow, weird."
Okay,
yeah, this
fine.
one's going to be venison bacon then,
Okay, fine. We'll shoot
Fine,
another
darn
one.
it. So I'm looking forward to that. But I wanted to kind of we're getting close to that 10:30 mark, and I wanted to end with kind of a controversial topic of this, and this is probably be good 30 to 1 minute partials of polo. I was cruising through our pages today.
Am I gonna get in trouble?
No.
Okay.
And I'm seeing pictures of these fish pictures. Okay. I like the fish pictures. I appreciate everybody that's sending us fish pictures. I still don't understand why people blur out the backgrounds.
Because they gotta hide their spots, man.
Is there really a secret spot anymore, though?
I think that the short answer to that question is no. But I do think there's some. I do think there's some like spot on a spot type areas. What I think people do. I think people overthink it big time. I think that you can see there's a background there, but trying to find exactly where he is just due to the depth the perception depth difference.
Yep.
Right. Like it's so hard to know where he actually really was. Like
Yeah.
you might think he's in that area because you see that bridge in the background. Okay, great. It's 300 yards of water. Trying to find that spot on a spot that he caught that fish on. Like,
Right.
Unless it's a specific dock. Like I can see that. Like
Like a dock. Or
like I found this. Like MLF was here a few years ago, and I found the docks that some of those guys are fishing. Like the dock.
Yeah. Oh
'Cause
yeah.
It's very. I mean, that was easy to do. Right.
Well, that was.
I think if it's trees and it's hillside and whatever.
There's been a couple guided lives where I've done, and one in particular was a duck hunting episode we did, which I believe is on Fix TV. And somebody's like, "Oh, I can't believe you took him to that spot." They could tell because there's a lighthouse in the background.
Okay,
that made a lot of sense.
Yep.
But like I was like, and I'm not just saying like the pictures that were sent to our pages, but I've just seen hundreds of these pictures. I guess I still don't understand why blur out your background, because I've had this conversation with a lot of like fisher guys, and they're like, "Well, it's my spot." I go, "No, it is not your spot. How did you find that spot?" "Well, my buddy told me."
Yeah,
So there you go.
exactly. Yeah,
How did
right.
your buddy find
That's
that
the vast
spot?
majority.
Well, yeah.
It's friends helping out each other kind of deal.
And like somebody here that works here said, well, with some of these pictures, you can find your location just by if you click the picture correctly or do something with the picture.
You can.
So I don't know.
I think number one, if you really, really don't want anybody to know what you're doing, don't upload the picture.
Right.
Like the 500 likes you think you need to have aren't really that important. That's my take on that, right? Like, because I think there's a lot of deer get shot just because they want to put a picture on Facebook, not because they necessarily want to shoot that 2-year-old. I think they shoot the 2-year-old because you could go back to that whole meat argument, right?
Right.
Well, shoot a doe. There's usually an abundance of those. You don't really need to shoot a 2-year-old.
Yep.
You're shooting the 2-year-old because you really want to put it on you. Oh, I gotta shot a buck.
Yep.
Right? It's like Facebook's turned into the old day where you go into the bar,
Yes.
had to register your deer, and everybody patted you on the back and bought you a shot.
Yep.
Right? That's literally all it is. You'll never convince me otherwise. When you're shooting smaller deer, right?
Yep.
So I think that a lot of the fishing is the same way. It's like I want everybody to know that I catch fish.
Yep.
Therefore, I have to post this picture, right? Well, if I know you and I know you, and like if you're a guy that fishes that area a lot, that's who they're worried about.
Right.
If they're blurring out the background, they're not worried about you. They're not worried about me. They're worried about the guys that they know that are in that area.
Yep.
Well, if you post these pictures all the time of these fish, and I see you at the bull landings, I'm gonna follow. I'm just gonna figure it out.
Right.
The picture's not all you're showing me. You're catching 32-inch walleyes, right? Well, if I know who you are and I'm going to figure this out because I'm going to dissect the background of your picture,
Yep.
you don't think I'm not going to figure out what boat landing you're at and I'm not going to figure out where you're going?
Right.
Like, come on. Like,
Right.
I'm going to figure it out if I really want to know that bad.
Yeah.
So then you're better off just not posting the pictures at all.
Don't post a picture.
Just don't do it.
Right. And that, but
People just can't. They have to tell people if they're catching
have to.
fish.
They have
'Cause
to.
They got to get that pat on the
And
back.
I'm guilty of it. I played that game, and it's like Lake X. Right now, that portion I can understand. There are some lakes, especially if you go out like where I live and we're sharing Wapaka County. There are some lakes that.
But if you tell one person about that lake,
Oh, it's
you're
done.
risking it already.
It's done.
And it could be your best friend.
Yep.
Because he's going to be like, oh, don't tell because that you just can't talk
No.
like at all to anybody about anything. If you really think you've got something that is like the holy grail of whatever
Then
you've
you
got,
just keep
you
a
just
secret.
can't tell anybody.
No.
Because it's going to get out.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
It really will. It's
Guarantee it.
crazy.
Well, yeah, because
'Cause
somebody's
people,
gonna,
it's like our natural tendency. We have to say something.
right. Well, because you want to be cool, right?
Well, right. But like I have different friends than you have, right? So like, well, hey man, you're my best friend, and my other good friend over here told me about this spot. I'm gonna tell you, but don't tell anybody else.
Right.
As soon as you say don't tell anybody else, it's like opening the floodgates for like, hey, this is
One, how do you think those people found it? Right?
Yep.
I mean, like, I've got friends that don't hunt and fish, and I don't even tell them.
Right.
Just because they might have a friend of a friend that knows.
Yep.
And then before you know it, it's all out there. You know what I
And
mean?
then you pull up to the boat landing and you're like, how did you, what are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
And the whole spot thing in fishing has ruined a lot of friendships. A lot.
a lot of
A
friendships.
lot of friendships. A lot of partnerships. A lot of friendships have went south fast
Yep.
because of the spot thing.
Yep.
Just
It's a hot subject about it, and I mean again, like I don't know if I've ever blurred out a picture.
I haven't, because if I really am that
Right.
crazy about it,
Yep.
it's not going to post it.
And some of these pictures too, I think it's really funny.
Or take the picture
with a different background,
or turn around. Like, a lot of times you're fishing from shore, or you're throwing towards shore,
Correct.
or towards the shoreline.
Yep.
I mean, you might be offshore or whatever. Very often, the other direction's got nothing in the background other than water. Especially for the guys around here that fish on the Bay of Green Bay.
That's
and
what I was
those
just
areas.
gonna say. The
Like,
Bay
turn
pictures
around, dude.
crack
There's
me
nothing
up.
behind you other than water. Like,
Right.
just put 7 seconds of effort into your picture.
The walleye ones are the best because most of these guys posting these 29 to 30-inch walleyes.
Yep.
There's not many lakes around here.
Well, right, exactly.
The Bay of Green Bay,
Yeah,
and
that did not come out of Lake Winnebago.
right, and you're like you said, for walleyes especially, there's really not a shoreline because you're usually offshore quite a ways, typically.
Well, but even if you're not offshore,
Take
you
a
could be
picture of the
fishing-
lakes in the background.
right? Unless you're in De Pere, if you're up on one of the northern rivers and you're fishing out in front,
Yep.
if you turn around, it's 15 miles to the other shoreline.
Right.
Nobody's seeing anything. Like, just turn around. Goes back to don't shoot the damn elk.
I think
It's just not that hard. It's just not that hard.
I think I'm gonna start a trend. I'm just gonna start a trend of like blurring out your pictures,
Just
the
for
background,
fun?
just to do it.
You should just not blur. You should blur out everything of you and the animal and just leave the background.
just
Just blur out everything else and leave the background.
What do you think? Where do you think I caught, or what did you think I catch on this spot today?
Yeah, here's where I am. You don't know
I
what I
am.
caught.
What
It's
did
all
I
blurred
catch?
out.
I think a little bluegill like this, just to get people, but like make the blur like really long, so
Right.
it looks like you caught something big at that.
We should start that.
That's our
trend.
new trend, man.
Yeah, we should totally
That is-
just.
That is the new trend. Just blur us out, but leave the background.
Oh, shoot. All right, man.
That was where I wanted to end it with. So don't forget, everybody, we do the show Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. We do look for topics. So if you got any hot topics that you want us to cover or talk about, drop them in the comments. Message us on our Facebook page, which is Real Shot Facebook, Real Shot on Instagram, YouTube, Fix TV. You can watch it all there. There's a lot of great content. There's a lot of new cool stuff. I think we're really close with the Gary Atkins proficiency episode being done.
Is it awesome?
I think that one's good. So if you haven't seen the Kyle Carpenter one,
Kyle one I was actually just watching it with my son over the weekend. That's pretty awesome.
Kyle did a great
That's
job.
good stuff. Yeah.
And I know Gary did a nice one too. So you have to go on to Fix
And
TV.
it's not your it's not your YouTube show.
No.
There's a lot of animated stuff in there, breaking down the water, breaking down current flows. It's a TV show. It really is. It's awesome.
And I think we're gonna play that. We're gonna try to play that game too on the ice. There's a couple of we have some great ice anglers that can do it for us. So yeah, if you haven't been on the Fix TV lately, that's Fix TV. It's PHYXTV.com. It's $5.99 a month. You help support us, help support a lot of local stuff. So we appreciate that. We do have the holiday shop-a-thon this week. That's Wednesday, starting at 5 p.m. So that's where we're exclusive 2-hour online store sale with some of these Christmas deals. That'll be a live shopping. Tuesday is the Goat Show.
Yep.
That's a good show. I really do like being a part of that show. That's fun. Megan does a really nice job hosting that show.
It's just so much unique, weird stuff in that store.
Dude, it's crazy. I can't wait till we start getting in some different booths. I think in the new year.
She's been working on trying to change her formula for who gets picked for the show, just to try to mix it up a little bit.
Yes.
But some of those people are in there a lot because people like what they're selling.
Right.
So.
I get it. I get it. Reward. Yep. And so that's a great show. So if you haven't seen the Yo Goat Show, that's Tuesday
all on Fix,
mornings.
too.
Yeah, that's Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Yep.
So that's tomorrow's show. But Wednesday we're back in here at 9 a.m. Brian, you should be here again.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Brian's here. Andy's here. Any final words, Andy?
No, that sums it up.
Brian, any final words?
I'm good. See you guys Wednesday.
Yeah, have a great Monday, everybody. We'll talk to you Wednesday morning.